Good afternoon, everybody. Is everybody ready? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here today. As I'm sure you know already, the city of Hartford won a huge victory today. Today, the jury in the litigation with Centerplan unanimously ruled in favor of the city of Hartford in every way. The jury found that not only were Centerplan's claims against the city without basis, and not only was the city justified in firing Centerplan from the construction of the ballpark, but that we were also justified in terminating the development agreement that Centerplan had negotiated to develop the land around the ballpark. There are a lot of people who've worked very hard, both to get that ballpark built, and to make sure that we would be able to move forward with the development of the parcels around that ballpark. I want to start by saying thank you to our attorney who led the legal team throughout this litigation, Leslie King, who is a partner at Murtha Kalina, who has just done a phenomenal job from start to finish. I want to thank Leslie and her team for a tremendous job. I want to thank our corporation counsel, Howard Rifkin, who has been a vital part of this effort from day one, who has been part of every strategic decision, every moment that this trial preparation went forward and as the trial went on, and we could not be more fortunate, and we could not have anybody better serving the city's interests as corporation counsel than Howard Rifkin. Howard, thank you. I want to thank our team at Development Services and our team throughout the city. Specifically, I want to say thank you to Sean Fitzpatrick, who was our Director of Development Services as this ballpark was getting built. And I want to say thank you to Mike Looney, without whom this project would never have been completed. I also want to say a specific thank you to Roger Martin, who is a fire inspector, fire marshal, who not only has done a tremendous job in his role, but I think laid out very clearly all the ways in which Centerplan fell short of their obligations, meeting their obligations to the city. For those of you who have not followed this saga from beginning to end, I just want to step back and remind you how we got to where we are today. In 2015, before my administration began, the city of Hartford committed to build a baseball stadium and borrowed a significant amount of money to build that ballpark. They contracted with Centerplan and Bob Landino to not only build that ballpark, but gave him the rights to develop all of the land around that ballpark. Shortly before I took office, just a few days really before I took office, it became clear that Centerplan was months behind schedule and millions of dollars over budget. We worked hard at that time to make sure that we could keep that project moving forward. We got everybody around a table. We asked the baseball team to step up and put some money on the table. We asked the developers to step up and put some money on the table. We came forward and we negotiated a new deadline and gave Centerplan a second chance. Centerplan once again missed that deadline. And at that point, we made the decision that the right thing to do to protect the people of Hartford, to protect the taxpayers of Hartford, was to fire Centerplan from that job, to ask the insurance company to step in, to pay for the completion of the ballpark, to oversee construction on the ballpark, and to get it done. There were a lot of people who questioned whether that was the right decision. I believed strongly then, and I think it is clear today, that that was the right decision for the city of Hartford. The insurance company stepped up and spent more than $30 million to complete that ballpark. If we hadn't done what we did in firing Centerplan, there would have been two possibilities. Either the city and taxpayers would have had to pay more than $30 million to get it done, or we'd be sitting today with a half-built hunk of concrete and steel where baseball was never played. So I am grateful to the entire team who has worked on this project to protect the city of Hartford, to protect the people of Hartford, to protect the taxpayers of Hartford from day one. Our outside legal team, our internal legal team, our development services team, our inspectors, everybody across the board. I also want to say thank you to the jury. Again, the jury found unanimously in the city's favor. They have been sitting in a courtroom for the last 5 weeks, in June and now in July, and I want to thank them for their hard work. It's important to say the jury came to the conclusion they did in less than a day. And I think that's a testament to the strong work that our legal team did, and I hope it's also a testament to the clarity of the issue, that ultimately the city was absolutely right and justified to take the action that we did. Now, going forward, there may be still some procedural hoops to jump through, but this is the major victory on the central issue in this case. We look forward now to moving forward and developing those parcels around the ballpark to a broader mixed-use development, which was always the promise to the people of Hartford. Our focus shifts there now, and we look forward to getting to work. Now, let me ask Leslie King to say a few words. And again, I just want to say Attorney King did a phenomenal job. She and her team could not have been more prepared, more professional, more knowledgeable, and their strategic and tactical decisions could not have been more sound. So I'm very grateful to you and your entire team, Leslie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to say a few words here. Most municipalities faced with a claim from a developer or a contractor for millions of dollars would have done something completely different than Mayor Bronin. They most likely would have just caved in and tried to settle the case at the cost of the people of Hartford. But what Mayor Bronin did, from the moment he decided they needed to be terminated, to pursuing and defending Hartford in the litigation, was bold. And it turned out to be the right move for Hartford. This trial went on for 5 weeks, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank my legal team from Merthyr Kalina. I had Jamie Radke, Lori Letty, and Matt Charleglio, who were there every step of the way, and so was Howard Rifkin. So, and I just want to reiterate, there were 3 different verdicts that the jury could have reached. One of them would have been in favor of Centerplan. The other choice they had was, guess what? Neither party proved their case. And the third choice, which is what the jury determined, was that Hartford was absolutely right to fire Centerplan. And not only that, Hartford was right. It was right to give Hartford damages in this case. So let me just say, of the 3 choices, we got the best one. And it was really thanks to Mayor Bronin's steadfast leadership on this issue. It's really unusual for a surety to come in and finish a ballpark. It's also really unusual to have a mayor who wants to stick by what's right and protect the taxpayers. It was the right move to go to trial, and we were completely vindicated today. So I just want to thank Mayor Bronin for his leadership.
So we're happy to take any questions.
Caitlin Birchall, NBC Connecticut. Can you talk about the damages that, let's say, constituents have lost? This saga has been going on for so long. So what now? What's your next step? But damages first, please.
Sure. Well, I'll look to Attorney King to talk about the damages. What we won in the case were liquidated damages or contract penalty. But the most important thing is that we won on the central issue of, whether our termination of Centerplan was justified, and we won resoundingly. And the reason that matters is that what we've always wanted to do is simply move forward. Our goal has always been to simply put Centerplan in the past and move forward to develop these parcels around the ballpark. And the reason this victory is so significant is that it clears the major obstacle from that development.
Anything to add on that?
Oh, really?
If there's an appeal from the other side, how will that play into your plans for development of the other parcels?
Well, this is what I think. I think today's verdict conclusively defined the rights of the parties. And Hartford will move forward with the project. And if there's any issue, we're just going to address those further obstructions. I really don't think it's going to be a problem.
I mean, let me just say, we fully expect, if Centerplan's past actions are any indication of what they'll do in the future, we fully expect that they will appeal. We also are confident today, as we've been confident throughout this process, that the city's in the right. And we look forward to moving forward with the development of these parcels.
Obviously, the development has been on hold, but have you received any interest, whether it be from developers who want to go to that site, or how much on hold?
We already have a developer who has already been selected as a developer. It's already the term sheet has already gone to City Council and approved. We took the steps that we needed to take to prepare for today. We always said we're not just going to sit around and wait. We're going to do everything we can to put the city in a position to move forward as quickly as possible when the city is vindicated. And today we were vindicated. So we look forward to moving as quickly as we can.
Shovel to the ground soon?
Oh, we'll see. One thing I've learned through this process is not to make promises on dates.
Just for taxpayers' perspective, how much does this free you guys now to focus on other things? I mean, just
it's an important, that's a good question. What I will say is this, for the first year, first year and a half of my administration, the construction of this ballpark was an enormous drain on resources, both personnel and financial. And we did what we felt was right to protect the people of Hartford, to protect the city of Hartford. We've always been eager to get to move forward and try to deliver on the promises that the prior administration made to the people of Hartford, which is that the parcels around the ballpark would be developed. And so really, again, the significance of this decision is that we can now move forward and work to get that done. But I do want to say, I think what Attorney King has said is right. In most situations, if there's a developer who's over budget and behind schedule, the cities would just keep on paying because they don't want the hassle, or they don't want the drama, or they don't want the risk. We knew we were right, and so we did what we believed we had to do to serve the interests of the city. And I am both grateful and proud that today that decision was vindicated unanimously by the jury.
You can relax more watching our Hartford Yard Goats game now?
Well, I've always had a lot of fun at the Hartford Yard Goats game, and I hope you do too. Any others? Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks again to everybody who brought us to today and made it possible.